Many people think that listening is something that they do to fill in the time when they're not speaking. Actually, this is not only wrong, it actually also devalues the person that they're talking to, because by not listening to them, you're really showing very little interest in what they're having to say, and therefore the relationship will suffer as a result. Take the word listen and just use it as a quick reminder of some of the key skills of active listening. L, for example, stands for look. Look at the person as they're speaking to you, engage them with good eye contact. I stands for inquire. That is, use good, open, probing questions. What, which, who, why, when, and of course the good question that starts with how, to really show interest in the person and what they're saying, and to ask them to open up and tell you more. S stands for summarize. In other words, what we're really saying here is frequently summarize your understanding of what the other person is saying. Use words like, let me just summarize what I've understood that you've been saying, or so what you're saying is, and use a paraphrase to confirm to the other person you've been trying to hear them and listen to them accurately. T means take notes, either jotting down one or two key words as the other person is saying them, or using a pattern note technique to build up a mind map of what the other person is expressing. E means encourage. In other words, smile, nod, and use silence to encourage them to say more. Even little expressions like aha or yes, go on, are helpful ways to encourage the other person to open up and say more. And finally, N means neutralize your feelings. Stay objective. Avoid bias. The person may not be very good at delivery, but think about the content that they're putting across to you. It may be absolutely valid and have a lot of interesting points. So try and avoid writing people off just because perhaps they have a slow or monotonous voice and they're not very good at expressing themselves. By effectively listening to people, you'll not only value them and build relationships with them, but you will also seek greater understanding of what they're having to say, and you will learn invaluable points in the process. So it's not only to their benefit, it's most certainly for yours.
How to meditate. Meditation isn't just for yogis or New Age gurus. It's a scientifically proven stress buster that anyone can learn to do. You will need comfortable clothing, a quiet place, an empty stomach, focus, and consistency. Optional, a mantra. Step 1. Wear loose, comfortable clothing. Step 2. Find a quiet spot where you won't be disturbed. Try to meditate in the same place every day. Step 3. Choose a daily meditation time. Yogis say the best time to meditate is between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. But it's more important to practice at the same time every day than at the ideal time. Always meditate on an empty stomach. Research shows that digestion interferes with the positive physiological effects of meditation. Step 4. Find a comfortable chair or bench and sit with your back straight and your feet flat on the floor. You may sit with your legs crossed, lotus style if you like, but it's not necessary. Place your hands on your knees, palms up, tilt your head forward slightly, and close your eyes. If you feel yourself nodding off, open your eyes halfway. Maintaining good posture also will help you stay awake. Step 5. Close your mouth and begin inhaling deeply and exhaling gently, making sure your belly expands as you breathe in. Step 6. Clear your mind by focusing on your breathing, how it feels, doing it correctly, and so on. Some people find that having a mantra, a word or phrase that they can repeat over and over, helps them block out thoughts. Step 7. Try to build up a daily 20-minute meditation, but aim first for consistency. It's better to meditate just for a few minutes every single day than to do it for 20 minutes sporadically. Did you know? People who meditate are less likely to catch the flu.
Balance is the key in our lives. Whatever it is, whatever we do, think or feel, balance is by far the hardest to achieve. It starts every day with the sunrise. So many things are thrown at us on a daily basis that our stress meter just rises by the day. Balance is what reduces stress. That stress finds a way to hide inside our bodies. Therefore, the body has to be strengthened and kept in good shape daily. People sit a lot. After a good night's sleep, most people sit down for breakfast. Then they get into the car and drive to work. They get to the workplace and sit down. After a certain amount of work, there's the chair for lunch, and then back to work. Drive home, sit down for dinner. Then the couch for a little TV. And afterwards, off to bed. Now that's not a lot of movement and exercise. The above-mentioned day has zero balance. Let's not even start to think about what kind of food was consumed that day. Another out-of-balance day, most likely. Ask yourself, where do I start? It's right here with yourself. Stress is not going to go away, period. I'm Eddie Muich. Let's get started.
In this section, we're going to look at the importance of rest and recuperation. Now, we've established the need to overload ourselves and move into the zone of development in order to strengthen ourselves and make progress. And we've also established the need to do so on a consistent basis. Now, this may sound like a bit of a contradiction, but we also need to ensure that we get sufficient rest. It's a bit like the weightlifter is going to the gym every single day. I mean, in terms of the weight he's lifting, he might be in the zone of development, but sooner or later he's going to run out of energy, and that will affect his progress. Now, it's the same for you in whatever field of endeavour that you wish to pursue. Now, it's important you don't spend too much time away from the zone of development, or it will weaken you and you'll lose opportunities. However, if you spend all the time in the zone of development, at some point you're going to run out of energy, and that will also affect your progress. So it is important to get sufficient rest, because rest is a positive activity that will make sure you've got energy to pursue your goals. It's a bit like me with writing. I sometimes reach a point where I feel the productivity is starting to drop. So I'll stop, have 15 minutes off, and I'll come back and I'll write much better. Or with the martial arts, I've been training for a few days, I feel stiff and sore, so I'll have a day off, and the next day I'll come back to it, and the training will be much more productive as a result. So you mustn't confuse rest with slacking or being lazy. Rest is a positive activity that will ensure that you've got energy and you'll keep enthusiasm for your goals. It's also not just about responding to fatigue. You should also plan rests into your schedule, so that way you've always got plenty of energy and are sure to make plenty of progress.